Fox 31 Denver, News at 9.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Posey. Tonight, a Colorado man is back home after conquering Mount Everest, and it was no easy task. He turned back once when severe weather set in, and he came across several climbers who had died. In a Fox 31 Denver exclusive, we hear Jon Kedrowski's dramatic story. Hendrik Sybrandy spoke with him and is here with his story. Hendrik?
Kim, Jon Kedrowski knew Mount Everest was going to be a challenge. Climbing 29,029 feet requires a lot of training and a lot of thought. But nothing could have prepared him for what he ran into on the mountain over the past few weeks, both in terms of weather and human suffering.
And then
Jon Kedrowski is back down to 7,500 feet now, sorting through the images of a trip that will stay with him forever. The Eagle County man was about to summit Mount Everest for the first time when fierce winds stopped him cold 2 weeks ago.
when we got up to the upper ridges of the balcony, the winds were blowing at almost 100 miles an hour. And that was a pretty good indication that we should turn around.
As he descended the mountain, he saw something he'll never forget.
I came across 4 different people that were either pretty frozen and or dying or close to death or not moving.
One oxygen-deprived climber who was in severe distress reached out to him. He had no gloves on his hand.
And when I tried to hand him the glove, he would just, like a little kid or a child, hit the glove away from me. You know, I tried to even grab him and pick him up, but he was already kind of frozen in a sitting state. And then I realized the longer I stay here, I'm putting myself at risk. So I just kind of unclipped from the rope, went around him and kept going down after I realized that there was nothing I could do for him. To be honest, I thought about the book Into Thin Air and said to myself, this is like the same thing happening. This is unbelievable. It was like it was fake.
There's the Roush.
Kedrowski managed to help one man to safety, then decided to revisit the area where the climbers had died.
And to kind of reconfirm what I'd seen before, but also to see what I felt about it, and to be able to give the mountain a second chance.
With this oxygen canister on his back, he summited Everest last weekend.
At first I couldn't really believe I was up there. Felt like, wow, really, I made it, you know, and then thought about how proud my family would be and just people that were pulling for me the whole trip.
I'm just proud of him, and I'm glad that he accomplished what he wanted to do.
His mother, Barbara, says she worried plenty about her son. This mountain is no walk in the park.
I was even surprised at how much higher that mountain is than anything around it.
But she's always urged her kids to have fun, and he did.
Very glad he's home. About 20-some pounds lighter, but we're glad that he's home.
Now, those altitudes will cause you to lose a lot of weight. Kedrowski says the high number of climbers trying to summit Everest at the same time caused a massive traffic jam that led some climbers to run out of oxygen. He plans to contact some of the families of those who died on the mountain. As for the risks of a climb like that, he says driving in Denver may be more risky. Some people might argue with that. But he thinks he may go back to Everest at some point. He may try the north approach to the mountain. He's thinking also about climbing some peaks in Pakistan next summer.
Wow, what an adventure.
Pretty ambitious.
And he is also the climbing partner of Channel 2 meteorologist Chris Tomer, right?
And he'd like to get Chris to come with him on an Everest climb. I don't know if Chris is negotiable on that, but that's something he'd like to do.
Okay, all right, thanks, Hendrik.